President Donald Trump, the European Union, and the UK have stepped up the economic war against Russia. Their primary target is Russia's oil. Now, Trump has even claimed in the White House that Prime Minister Modi had assured him he would stop buying Russian oil. India's MEA, of course, denied such a conversation ever took place. But oil is critical to Russia's economy. It is Moscow's primary revenue source. It is a key driver of Russia's GDP. It contributes nearly 20% of Russia's economy and makes up for nearly 70% of its export revenues. Now, Russia is the world's second largest oil exporter, right behind Saudi Arabia. It produces about 10.5 million barrels of oil per day. It exports roughly 7 to 8 million barrels of oil per day, and this is the nub of the matter. The West believes Russian oil exports funds its war in Ukraine, and therefore it's targeting Russia's oil economy. It's seen as the fastest way to end the war in Ukraine without fighting Russia directly. Now, there's a multi-pronged Western strategy in play here. The targets, not surprisingly, are China and India, the two largest buyers of Russian oil. Now, China is the number one buyer of Russian oil. It buys nearly half of all of Russia's oil exports. Now, in August, President Trump imposed a 25% tariff on India for buying Russian oil. On the 15th of October, 85 US senators supported a legislation granting Trump the authority to impose 500% tariffs on China for buying Russian oil. On the same day, the UK imposed sanctions on an Indian refinery for processing Russian oil. Now, the West is also targeting what are known as the shadow fleet. It's a secret armada of over 600 aging, uninsured oil tankers that carry a bulk of Russia's oil. In 2022, in other measures, the G7 capped Russia's oil exports to $60 a barrel. The aim was to slash Moscow's funding for the war in Ukraine, but at the same time keeping global energy markets stable. Now, the EU is mulling a move to further reduce the cap on Russian oil to $50 per barrel. Now, why the $50 cap? Because at $50 a barrel, Russia takes a 30 to 40% hit in annual revenues, something like $25 to $30 billion annually. Now, Russia is already losing oil revenues because it sells its oil at discounted rates to foreign buyers. Now, Ukraine, interestingly, is carrying out long-range drone attacks on Russia's oil refineries. Now, these strikes have surged since August 2025. These strikes have targeted key nodes in Russia's energy sector to disrupt fuel production, export revenues, and military logistics. Russia's response has been to pivot to the east. Russia has got China to agree to the Power of Siberia 2 gas pipeline, which offsets the loss of Russia's Nord Stream pipeline to Europe. A lot of revenues there and commitment from China to buy Russian gas. Now, Moscow is also drawing up a line of sophisticated weapons to offer to its strategic partner India to keep New Delhi close. India just announced that it was looking at developing hypersonic missiles with Moscow. Now, all of these moves and counter moves come even as Europe's longest war post the Second World War enters its fourth year just 4 months from now.